I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the healing protocol that I've been doing with my family, particularly with myself and my one almost 2-year-old, to help heal her eczema. A lot of people have asked me, what exactly are you doing? My 1-year-old had severe eczema. We noticed it when she was about 3 months, but it wasn't severe. It was just in little crevices. I just, would take her to the doctor. They'd be like, oh, she'll grow out of it. I knew her dad had it growing up, and so I just figured she inherited it from him, and she would, in fact, grow out of it one day. When she got to be 1 was when it really erupted and was all over her body, and she was scratching until she would bleed. We had to cover her from head to toe. Poor thing went through summer heat with tights on and long sleeve because we could not keep her skin exposed. She would just destroy herself. No scratching, Rita. You gotta put your tights back on. When it got to that point, I took her to her pediatrician. The pediatrician referred me out to a specialist, dermatologist, pediatrician. They just basically said, yeah, she's got, some pretty bad eczema. We went through probably a few months of trialing different ointments and creams. I tried everything that everybody recommended to me. I was open to everything. We finally got into the steroid ointments, and that was when it did get some relief. She did have some relief on her skin. However, as soon as it cleared up, then it came right back. Me being in the health world, I knew that ointments have to be a band-aid because they're not taking care of what's causing this skin situation. And so I demanded a blood test and came back that she was allergic to all of your major allergens such as wheat, gluten, soy, nuts, eggs, dairy. So we started there. We started to eliminate that, and we did see a little bit of improvement, but her skin was still pretty bad. So one day, one of my friends from the Juice Plus community referred me to one of her friends and business partners, Nicole. And Nicole has this amazing story where she healed her son of his FPIES, which is really severe allergy. But what I learned from her was that eczema is a result of a gut issue. And so that was the turning point for me. That's where we became so fascinated, because I always thought eczema was just an external thing you kind of inherit. It goes away. It's just dry skin. But in fact, what Nicole explained to me was she's not really allergic to the foods. It's when she's consuming them, her gut is leaky and it's leaking those food particles into her blood, and then it's attacking her skin. Now that we've got her pretty much controlled, any like downfall, like if she's not eating her healing foods and we're not keeping up with that, she'll eat something and it'll just attack her skin. It's like acid to her feet and her hands especially, and they'll just start to be raw and opened up again. And so we just saw the power of the gut. And what I also learned from Nicole in this process was that the gut comes from the mother. And so I realized I have gut issues, and not only myself and my baby, but so do my other girls. So she was able to look at our eyes, our tongue, and our stool and read that we've got some gut stuff going on. We followed the GAPS diet. You can look it up. There's intro stages to where you do like the complete healing protocol, or there's just like the GAPS approved. So because I was breastfeeding Indy, I was doing the GAPS approved. I was basically eliminating all the processed food, all the dairy, the wheat, the sugar, and anything that Indy was really allergic to at the time, so nuts and all of that. And then I was only eating things that were on the GAPS approved list, which the hardest things for me, aside from the sugar, because I'm very addicted to sugar, was the grains and the beans. So it's not that those grains like brown rice and quinoa and oatmeal are bad for you, but they're not easy to digest. And so in order to give the gut a break, we had to cut them out. That was one of the biggest shockers for me, because I'm like, we ate oatmeal for breakfast every day. You can take a look at the GAPS approved list, but in a nutshell, it's proteins and veggies. Even though our diet was so hard to change, there was so many amazing foods that we still got to eat. Once we got over the shock of not being able to eat the foods we were used to, we were able to have so much fun in the kitchen. My girls were always cooking with me and helping me try new recipes, so that was fun for them. You're ready to help?
Mom, what's this?
That's the cherry tomatoes.
Thank you.
Actually was refreshing to just try something new, and so I want you to have hope that there's so many yummy foods you can still enjoy. In your gut is what you crave, and I was craving sugar all the time because I had this overgrowth. And so it's like that overgrowth has a mind of its own, and it wants you to feed it more of that stuff. And so sugar was the hardest thing to cut out, but a few weeks to a month after cutting it out, I was fine. I had no more cravings. I had red vines in my purse. Every time I went to the gas station, I was buying some type of candy or some type of sweet. I was always eating sugar. I would say the hardest thing about that was realizing that sugar is in everything. Dressings, go to a restaurant, I order salmon, but it's marinated in a sugary base. So I was making everything from scratch. I'm not here to tell you that the healing protocol is by any means easy, but honestly, things that are worth having in life are not easy, and your health is worth having. And if you're someone who's dealing with, like my daughter's severe eczema where she's bleeding, opening up her skin to raw blood, or like myself, I have lockjaw, I have severe joint pain, I have fatigue where I'll wake up and I'm already ready for a nap, just that severe sugar addiction where I'm always wanting sugar. You have things like that, it's so worth it to make the sacrifice of not being able to eat out as much or having to make things from scratch or whatever than it is to live with those things. And to be like, my fear is that if I don't fix her gut, because what Nicole taught me, what she taught me was that you don't grow out of eczema. This is one thing I really want to share, because so many people have shared their testimony with me, like, oh, my kid used to have that, they grew out of it. Well, what Nicole taught me was that we have two immune systems, and when you, after time of you not fixing what's causing this issue, your immune system shuts down and then you stop reacting. So then your eczema goes away. However, because the cause, the gut, the leaky gut, the gut issue, isn't going away, it manifests itself in other areas later down in life because of years of having this leaky gut, years of food getting into your bloodstream. And so this is when it turns up as autoimmune disease and lupus and MS and thyroid issues. That's not what I want for myself or my daughters, because like I said, they all got my gut and they all have some issues. And sure enough, the 3 and the 5-year-old have grown out of it. Fixing our gut now so that we don't step into those issues later. And I'm seeing it with myself. I don't know how long this has been going on, but I'm getting worse and worse. My lockjaw comes back more often. My joint pain gets worse every year. I'm just telling you that this healing protocol diet has tremendously helped, but it's also been the hardest thing that we've ever done because it's so different. So you kind of have to isolate yourself from people who won't understand. I have people saying they think I'm depriving my daughter. It's not fair. At school, I send them the healthy lunches. I don't let them participate in the school, festives of all the food and junk and candy. The baby girl, we go out to eat and she has all her little packed containers that I have to bring separate. people have said, oh, she's malnourished, you're not nourishing her enough. But what I had to realize was, if you think of what the standard American diet really is, what our kids are really consuming, most of them are not eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, and they are eating carbs and processed foods, pizza, pasta, quesadillas, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, things that are really not that nutritionally dense and pretty much just turn to sugar. So when I think of my 1-year-old is only eating, maybe 5 foods, and she's not getting all this stuff. But when I compare that to my 3 and my 5-year-old are getting 5 things of junk, pizza, quesadilla, pasta, the same little group of foods, I will take the 1-year-old any day. And I just love that she's so pure. She doesn't have sugar in her diet. She's eating organic. She's eating I know every little ingredient that's touching her body. And as you can see the pictures and the results that we've had, we're healing her. And I am so happy about that healing, because now she's not going to be dependent on a prescription Band-Aid. She's going to be able to heal naturally and become aware that food is medicine, but it can also harm you, and that she will hopefully always choose to make good food choices. Day looks like with our diet is Indy eliminated everything that she ate. So depending on how old your child is, this will obviously be more challenging. She was eating everything, so she was eating all table food, so it was hard in the beginning to pull away, but she was young enough that she quickly forgot, and then we pulled away most of those foods from the whole family, so we just didn't have it anymore. No more crackers, no more bread, no more like chips and all that stuff that we usually had around. For the first phase, she was just on breast milk and chicken broth, homemade broth. And then we added in the coconut oil and the sauerkraut. So she was having a veggie, a fat, which was the coconut oil, the ferment, which was the sauerkraut, and then the broth. And that was with every meal, and a protein.
Good girl, baby. Good girl. I know. A little more. Come on, you're almost done. You're almost done, Rishi.
That's pretty much her staple. And as, we would see her gut heal. Andy, what do you have? What are you eating? Go, girl. Go, girl. Again, we were sending pictures of her stool to Nicole, so Nicole would be able to read, okay, she needs more fats, up her coconut oil. She needs more of the ferment to digest better, up her kraut. She avoiding meat, we need more veggies in there. And so she would give me suggestions, blend up the veggies into a meatloaf, or do different things. So she would help me get creative with how I would get these things in her. And now we're actually back down because we had a reaction, and so we're trying to figure out what it is. But because every day we're sending Nicole everything she eats, and then her stool, we're able to look at the stool and then look at the intake and see what affected that. And so we're really just watching her and healing her. With myself, when I stopped breastfeeding because my toxins actually started interfering with her healing, I went right back to my diet. Give me all the pizza, all the sugar, and my lockjaw came back, and my fatigue came back. It was amazing to see. I didn't realize the value of how healthy I had gotten until it was gone again. And so now I'm more motivated than ever to get back on track. I hope this helps. Surround yourself with a community of people who get it and who can help hold you accountable, so you don't feel so isolated. Commit to your healing. You can change your diagnosis. You can change the quality of your life and not be so dependent on medicines, because food is medicine. Depend on food before you depend on the prescriptions, because overall prescriptions are just going to cost something else. So we're so grateful for the health community that I'm in with Juice Plus, because Juice Plus bridges the gaps in our diets. It's amazing for our whole family, and it's just been a catalyst of change for us, and the place where I'm able to fall back on people who understand what we're doing and who support it and who cultivate it.